Well, here we are. I'm obviously not in my backyard. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, having a wonderful time with Father Theo and Deacon Bob and Ryan and his wife Erica at Holy Name Church, where we're having a wonderful mission. And it's a blessed place. And it kind of goes into and is coupled in today's scripture passage, the gospel, which comes, I think, from the 13th chapter of the gospel, of Luke's gospel. And Christ is trying to explain to his followers what heaven was like. And so he chooses two different methods of doing that. First, he says, it's like a mustard seed that when planted, the farmer doesn't know, but it's going to grow into the largest of trees, and birds and will come from everywhere to nestle in its branches. Then he says it's also kind of like yeast, and when it's set aside, it will grow and be so wonderful and huge compared to the yeast. And I think therein is the point that first, heaven by us and by Christ can really be fully explained, except that it's greater than we can imagine and happens in ways that we can't understand. The farmer just, all he does with the seed is plant it, and God does the rest. And all the baker does is just add yeast, and God does the rest. And I think that's what we're called to do. We are to be the yeast. And through us, the heavenly kingdom can be exposed. We are to plant seeds, and seeds that someday they will grow into bushes or trees, into plants that feed and nurture nature. That's what heaven is. It is this unimaginable place. I have often said that I don't want to go to the heaven that I can imagine. I want to go to the heaven that God can imagine, because it is something we cannot explain. I believe I shared with you a year or two ago that I suffer from depression, and I'm on medication. And what happened for me that was heaven sent was one night, it was dark at 2 o'clock in the morning. I awakened to the dreads of the day, the night, the horrid dark night, with the ideas of failure surrounding me. And I was so profoundly depressed, worried about everything that could be. And it was so horrible that I wanted my life to end. Kind of like Elijah when he was running away from Jezebel. He was done. He was finished. Lord, you can take my life. But at that moment of surrender, I experienced a miracle. In my late night stupor, I kind of looked over to my left, and I saw myself kneeling in prayer with the light shining on me, and I just gaped at that vision. And I can't tell you what my face looked like, but what I can tell you is this. I heard the words, "What you worry about is so small. This is my love." And for a nanosecond, I experienced the love of God. I can't explain to you how it felt. Any words that I might use would fall on their face compared to what I felt. It would be, the closest I could imagine is trying to explain the Grand Canyon. You cannot. Whatever words that you might use fail in their vain attempt to express and to give the feelings that one receives or sees. And in any event, I fell asleep. The next morning, my depression was gone. Now, I did go soon see a doctor, and am on medication. But for that nanosecond, God showed me heaven. It is real. That's why it's so easy every morning to wake up and say, oh, Lord, what are we going to do today?